fast to www.pastorpaulgold.com. Hey, have you taken a good look at the banks lately? On the surface, everything seems fine, but there's a whole lot more going on underneath. It's like looking under the hood of a car and finding a mess of broken wires and parts. The parts are loans for homes, cars, and those credit cards we all use. They're hitting record highs. It's kind of scary when you think about it. Why risk your money for a tiny 5% return when things are so shaky? This is where Noble Gold Investment can come in and help. They're like that friend who knows all about keeping money safe. They suggest gold and silver, oldies but goodies in the finance world. Plus, they got a sweet deal on this right here. 1/4 of an ounce gold standard coin. They'll give this to you for this month. 1/4 of an ounce of gold. Pretty cool, right? Well, if you're curious, just give them a call at 877-646-5347. It's just a chat, no pressure, and they'll help you figure out if gold and silver is right for you. Go visit them at www.pastorpaulgold.com and take the first steps toward a safer financial future.
Armenian President Nikol Pashinyan has issued a cautionary statement asserting that Azerbaijan is contemplating a, quote, full-scale war as tensions between the two nations escalate. The recent escalation stems from a border skirmish, resulting in at least 4 Armenian soldiers dead and another wounded. Armenia's foreign ministry condemned the incident, labeling it as a provocation by Azerbaijani troops who allegedly fired on Armenian forces across the border in the eastern Suyak region early on Tuesday. Accusations and counter-accusations have been exchanged between the two countries in the aftermath of the skirmish. Quote, "Our analysis shows that Azerbaijan wants to launch military action in some parts of the border with the prospect of turning military escalation into a full-scale war against Armenia," Pashinyan is reported to have said at a government meeting. Armenia has called Azerbaijan to avoid engaging in, quote, destabilizing actions, and in response, Azerbaijani's state border service stated that it had retaliated by firing on an Armenian post, the Daily Express is reporting. This action was reportedly in response to Armenian shelling of Azerbaijani positions the day before, which resulted in the injury of one Azerbaijani service member. In a 6-week war in 2020, Azerbaijan reclaimed portions of the Karabakh. Subsequently, in September of the same year, they initiated a swift offensive that defeated separatist forces within a day, compelling them to surrender. The aftermath saw over 100,000 ethnic Armenians fleeing the region, resulting in near desertion. Buoyed by a success of the military operation, Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev secured another term last week through a snap election, garnering 92% of the vote. While both Armenia and Azerbaijan have committed to working towards a peace treaty, visible progress has been elusive, and tensions persist amid mutual distrust. On Thursday, Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat from West Virginia, navigated discussions about his potential for a third-party presidential bid, yet he offered his endorsement for a possible running mate if such a bid were to materialize. Quote, "Hypothetically, if I was picking my running mate, really who I would ask right now is Mitt Romney," Manchin said. Furthermore, Manchin mentioned that he would contemplate selecting former Senator Rob Portman, a Republican from Ohio, as a potential vice presidential candidate, NBC News reported. Quote, "Rob's a dear friend of mine," Manchin said. Quote, "What a good man." During an appearance at a City Club of Cleveland breakfast as part of his nationwide, quote, listening tour following the announcement of his decision not to seek another Senate term, Manchin offered pointed criticisms of current President Joe Biden. This tour, which included a recent stop in the state of New Hampshire ahead of the state's first in-the-nation presidential primary, has sparked speculation about Manchin potentially launching an independent or third-party presidential campaign. There have been associations between Manchin and the No Labels organization's initiative to form a bipartisan ticket. In the vicinity of the town of San Giorgio Bigorello, near the northern Italian city of Mantua, archaeologists have unearthed a substantial Copper Age necropolis dating back approximately 5,000 years. This discovery of the extensive necropolis has proven to be surprising, not only due to the considerable number of excavated tombs, totaling 22, but also due to the archaeological data that holds great promise for researchers. The unexpectedly high number of graves, along with the discovery of finely crafted weapons in some of them, is anticipated to offer fresh insights into the lives of the prehistoric inhabitants of this northern Italian region. The initial isolated tombs, excavated in November of 2023 and January to February of 2024, represented only a small segment of a more extensive cemetery, the exact dimensions of which have likely been obscured over the ages. Numerous flint weapons, including meticulously crafted daggers, flawless arrowheads, and other blades, were found in several of the tombs, Archaeo News is reporting. Additionally, jewelry such as necklace beads made from materials that raise preliminary questions about chronology, likely dating back to the 4th millennium BC, was also discovered. As excavations resumed in January, an additional 19 graves were unearthed, corroborating the archaeologists' hypothesis that this site was indeed a cemetery rather than a collection of sporadic burials. The 22 burials were situated just approximately 40 centimeters below the surface. During the Neolithic, which is between 6000 and 4000 BC, and the Paleolithic, which is between 4000 and 1700 BC periods, the region that now encompasses Mantua was part of the river Mendocino Basin,